Bd11 Firatos Story and Guidance. The Magical Council 11 out of 32. Firatos, the guiding force of heat and fire. The guiding force of the energy of heat and fire. Pace yourself in order to digest life. Quote, "Forgive, forget, bear with the faults of others as you would have them bear with yours. Be patient and understanding. Life is too short to be vengeful and malicious." Philip Brooks. End of quote. Firatos' story. After Calimobanco had taken its place as the governor of Crystalia, it was me, a crystal child of light, a drop of the ocean of love, the home of Kandu the creator, that came to venture Crystalia. My soul settled down in Orania, in the lower crystal kingdom, and Calimobanco observed me with care, for he knew he needed a team that would help him to keep life in Crystalia going. As a young child, playing in the gardens of the castles of garments, located in the plains of dreams, Calimobanco gave me the name Firatos, meaning the energy of heat and fire. Calimobanco observed me, who with my fiery energy was able to set anything in motion. I created with my magical powers the sun and other planets who produced enormous heat and who were able to give warmth to other planets around, and then able to create different forms of life. I was able to move so fast that flames were just shooting out from within me, and nobody was able to keep up. I was able to change myself into a fire-spitting dragon, and also spitting fireballs, and the producing of an immense heat. Through my life, I came up with the most incredible ideas that produced heat, such as stoves, the burning of coal, campfires, candles, light bulbs, and engines, which was my gift and element, and was a great plus to Crystalia, as heat in various forms assisted life. Heat that could assist you, but when not kept under control, however, could become very destructive. I had a lot of patience and could labor hard, but when I grew older, at times I could become so impatient. The fear within me, not able to do it all, and not accomplishing things fast enough, made me angry, and sometimes when I lost control, becoming very destructive with my fire, and would change into a flying forest of flames. When I was young, no matter how angry I was, it was only 1 second later that I could be forgiving. But this changed while getting older, and sometimes staying angry at something or somebody for a long time, not able to turn my view around. I was very adventurous, but at times when trying to do too much and too fast, unable to digest the situation, and again breaking out in frustration and anger. I love danger, but sometimes challenging too far and ending up in fear, not being able to move at all, just sitting with my fear and in my fear. This was all great for Calimobanco's plans, as I would be able to keep everybody and everything going and in motion in Crystalia. This was action. But most of all, I would be keeping everybody busy with the factor of fear, and even letting individuals, groups, and even nations fight with each other. The high realms of the gods. Calimobanco saw my potential at an early age, and under his guidance trained me in every aspect and offered me a place in the high realms of the god. And I called myself the god of fire and heat, through which I could keep everything in motion that was created and would be created. My energy is in everything in Crystalia, and has for that reason within itself the force of action, through which itself sets itself in motion, and as a reaction sets everything else in motion. I am the God and keeper of motion and action. I am also called the God and keeper of the energy of digestion and making sure that you are able to move and digest all adventures. With your mind under the dictates of the sense organs, this energy, instead of keeping the adventure in such a pace that you can digest all, you organize ways so things go too slow or too fast and creating imbalances in digestion on all levels. To be able to play with the power of fear was an incredible asset for Kalimabanko's plan, to keep the inhabitants of Crystalia busy, and made sure that the media of news and movies and games kept on instilling fear. For many reasons, all other gods, keepers, and all inhabitants of Crystalia needed to connect with me, but throughout the history of the higher realms of the gods, however, there have been many wars and battles, especially between the 7 keepers of the universe, which I am one of them. Battles. The power games between me and Watiru, the god of water and liquids, was intense, as Watiru, with his water and liquids, changing himself into storms and tidal waves, monsoons and heavy rains, tried to suppress my power of fire and heat. In return, I would try to produce an immense heat and drying Watiru's energy up completely. I was not at ease with Watiru having the power to kill my fire, and when I look back, even being at war with the other gods, it was all based on fear, just fear expressed through anger. Being at war with Aratu, the god of air, oxygen and gases, I would produce so much heat with spitting not just flames, but transforming myself into a fire-spitting dragon, which would attack with endless amounts of fireballs, letting them fly around so Aratu's air became unbearable. And in return, Aratu would fight my flames and fire by not supplying oxygen, which killed my fire. Because fire can only burn with oxygen. Aratu could expand his chest, open his mouth and inhale and suck all the air away. Yes, my fire could only work when there was oxygen, and I was jealous about Aratu's power. Kalimabanko, however, didn't bring us gods together and explaining to us that we were a support team to each other, that we couldn't live without each other, and for that reason we all felt independent and getting involved in power games. Oh yeah, maybe it was not his fault. We could have figured it all out by ourselves. Although in essence all of us were perfect and pure, as we once were, and were still connected with Kandu, but without realizing this, we got involved seeking this perfection in the material worlds of Crystalia, which was impossible. At one point in time, with the permission of Kalimabanko, I made my second home in the planetarian system of the Yellow Planets, located in the realms of the third dimension, a place where the energy of fire is dominant and in which I can experience my energy in full. Here I had my playground, without having to battle with the other keepers, but where other problems arose. I went to the plains of dreams, to one of the castles of garments, and took the body I still have today, representing its purpose. Also realize that I have several bodies or garments. I have my base image, but to make any body more comfortable anywhere in the universe, I adapt and can change into an image that looks more like you. Touring my personal realm. Let me give you a feeling about my special realm, and come to visit me. You can find me in the third dimension, after passing through the flying sun shields and entering the realm of the yellow planets, which are 8 in total. The one located in the center called the Golden Globe is my home planet. The planet has two major climates. The south and the north has mountains that rise to the sky, and the climate is cold, and the moons hanging around the North and the South Pole. Between the North and the South, you can imagine the warm climate, which is the effect of many suns cycling around the planet in that region. Here is where you find fertile plains, prairies, pampas and grasslands with golden fields grown with grains, corns and sunflowers that are fed by the many fast-flowing rivers coming from the south and the north icy mountains. On my planet, you can find now grains and rice and buckwheat, millet, quinoa, amaranth, endless types of corn and many varieties of beans such as soya, lentils, kidney beans, chickpeas and black beans. It was soon after I settled down that the inhabitants from the realm of Ice Flame showed up, being the Goldonos and the Sylvanas. The Goldonos that take care of working on the farmlands, and the Sylvanas are the keepers of health and homes. They matched very easy and are a polarity to each other, as the Goldonos are more of a fiery type and the Sylvanas are more the calmer types. I live in the north in my ice dome palace, made entirely from silver ice, surrounded by many hotels and spas that are there for the purpose of total rejuvenation for the Goldonos and the Sylvanas who are working hard during the entire year in the middle climate come here on vacation. Vulcan, my twin, lives in the middle climate, in his golden palace with his golden hive. In his colony the work on the lands is done, and from here most grains, beans and seeds coming from. The big change. Having two main residents in the higher realms of the gods and on the yellow planets, at one time I was asked by Moriah Morrow to become a faculty member at the Magical University of Life at the Sacred Archives. Moriah Morrow, being the principal, who respected anybody and was wise, invited us all, key masters, keepers and guardians of the universe. Under his guidance we all had an equal position and shared the knowledge of the universe and nature from our perspective with the students, and we all felt very important. It was a great change. We tuned back into love and stopped our wars, for we all knew that you needed all the help you can get in order to save yourself and your planet. For those amongst you who want to become more aware and understand that I am part and parcel of you and within everybody, I invite you going on the journey and rediscovering all about me at my planet called the Golden Globe, and sit in my classrooms at the Sacred Archives at the university, or even connect with me through a self-home schooling system. All connections to me are an incredible experience, and the more you know, the better you can go through your adventure of life. How I can help you in your life. Quote, nature does not hurry, yet everything is accomplished. Lao Tzu. End of quote. I am Firatos, the keeper in the third dimension, representing the energy of fire and heat, through which I keep everything moving and in motion. Nothing stands still in the universe. It is an ongoing world of adventures. Everything in creation has within itself the force of action, through which itself is in motion, and as a reaction sets everything else in motion. On Mother Earth you know me as the power of the sun, so everybody can move and do during the day. And I will remind you to take breaks, for too much heat can burn you out. You know my fire as the stove in your body, located at the belly center. where I assist in the digestion and assimilation of thoughts, experiences, and foods. I supply all the fuel to every cell and make sure you're able to move and digest all adventures by letting you adventure in such a pace that you can digest it all. For this and many more reasons, I am called the keeper of motion and digestion. I am, however, like you and anything else in creation, a creation of opposites. When you fail to tune into my positive side and try to experience too much and too fast, you can easily burn yourself up and out through indigestion and falling down into frustration and fear, expressed through pushing, forcing, and anger. Through my energy, I keep you exploring the things of this world, busy and in constant motion, physically and mentally. Most important, I let you play with fear and anger. You may ask, why would you do something like this? And I will tell you that this is part of my job. And as I said before, I am part of the created world, and there are two sides of me, just like within you. More about my positive and negative side. When you tune into my positive side, you experience action, and you will be able to move and feel adventurous and fearless. You will be able to balance the fire energy within you and around you by pacing yourself in all your actions in order to be able to digest it all. You will experience gentleness, being forgiving, and being constructive. When you forget, however, to tune into my positive side, you will be experiencing the speed of friction, called stress. You will be unable to digest your life, and you will end up experiencing fear, which you express through anger. You will feel burned out, lacking gentleness and forgiveness, and being defensive and destructive. Working with my fire energy. There is a saying that fire is a good companion, but too much fire is very destructive. The sun. The sun gives life on your planet, Earth. But when you are too long in the sun, especially in the middle of the summer or in the middle of the day, you will end up with a sunstroke or sunburns. Pace yourself. Through my energy, you are able to move and adventure, but when you do too much, you can start feeling the stress of too much fire and possibly getting burned out. It is very important learning to pace yourself, not just for the sake of yourself, but also for others, who possibly have a hard time to keep up with somebody who moves and does things too fast. About stress. Adults use the word stress often, and for you to understand this better, it means that things are going too fast, that there is too much going on, and things have become too complicated. This causes indigestion of the situation, and the organs in the body have a hard time dealing with this as well. This kind of stress can be the cause of various things by trying to handle and eating too much. Digesting. When you do things too fast, including eating, doing your homework, or dressing up too fast, it all ends up in indigestion. You will not be able to digest your food. You will not be able to digest what you were supposed to learn. And you will look not dressed up and sloppy. Most modern foods you consume do not digest well. They lack the proper life energy, and you ending up getting sick one day. Heavy foods and the consuming of animal food takes too much energy from your body in order to get energy from them, which is basically not doing the right business. All sugar-related products, including all modern processed and made white products, such as white rice, white flour, white pasta, all go too fast through your body. You feel a high of energy for a short time, and then you're hungry again. Taking breaks. There is a saying that you better take a break before something breaks. So learn to take rest during the day and make sure you get plenty of sleep during the night. It is as well not for no reason that people living in hot climates take a siesta or break of several hours in the middle of the day. Forcing. Through the energy of fire, you are able to set things into action, like waking up, standing up in the morning. When I show up, actually, everything that requires motion is being put in motion through my energy, which is a very natural phenomenon. When you overdo it with my energy, you probably end up forcing yourself and forcing and pushing others. Be aware that they will push back, which doesn't make things easy at all. In general, this is connected to the words of having to and should, a force that is mostly destructive as well to your body, as you have to come extremely from your belly center. Underneath, there is mostly fear connected to most have to and shoulds, except for taking care of the basic necessities. This destructive force uses a lot of energy and fire, which needs oxygen again to work, and as a result you burn yourself out and you run out of air. This force is a lot seen in sport activities, and maybe it all looks cool, but it is aggressive energy based on winning and losing, and it will take its toll on your well-being. Creating stress by moving too slow. It also works the other way around when you do everything too slow, like not preparing yourself in time for school. Your parents end up in fear that you may not make it in time, and you may get angry as everything is done in the last minute and too fast. Then again you will feel forced and pushed, and a game of forcing and pushing and anger starts with no end. It is the same with dragging to do your homework. It will cause stress on your parents who are there to guide you doing to get it all going. And they will get stressed, frustrated, and sometimes angry by you delaying it all. There are as well many foods that you consume that go far too slow through your body, and this includes most foods that went through a heating process. Heat expands the organs of the body, and everything that needs to go through it goes then too slow and leaving lots of waste behind. Fresh foods have a balance of contracting and expanding, and they are the best. They are an exercise from the body inside to the outside. Why sugar cravings? A body which doesn't get the proper nourishment is malnourished and always craves for sugars. And when you take these products, ranging from ice cream, candy, sodas, and many more, it will create a cycle within yourself of which you cannot go out anymore. You will become addicted to modern fast foods, unhealthy foods, and sugar-related food products. This is like being under the spell of the White Witch, and the only way to get out from under her spell is to eat healthier and better. Be a hero and stop the habit of consuming sugar and sugar-related products. Read on all your snacks and drinks in regards to sugars what is all inside of them. About fear. As gentleness and patience are my great positive contributions related to my fire energy, so is fear related to my most negative side. Everything in the modern world is about fear. The fear of not being good enough, smart enough, good looking, or successful. The fear of not being accepted, and the fear of not having the latest gadgets. With learning more about anger, you will also learn more about fear. About anger. Anger is an experience which comes forth from fear. And just as fear is something to be experienced, just experience both of them, but do not connect them to anything or anybody. Just feel afraid or angry, but do not say, I'm afraid or angry of or because of something. When you do this, you create a network of fear and anger, and you have to deal with it for the rest of your life. Know that most advertisements and news is geared to instill in you, or geared to make you angry about something. People who are afraid are controlled by fear and others, but those who are not afraid are freer and less controlled by fear and others telling you what to believe, what to have, and what to do. I come back on all the incorrect eating habits as well that instill fear, and especially eating from the animal kingdom. Animals are all living in the realm of fear, the world of attacking and being attacked. When you feel that anger comes up, just scream into a pillow or take a shower and cool off. About violence. I want to make you very aware of watching fast and violent movies, playing violent games, and sitting too long in front of the tube. They activate the fear and anger in your body, and when it comes out, it's not nice for you and anybody. About mechanical fire energy. We have invented endless things that produce heat. Just think about all the lights in the house, the engines of the refrigerators and all the kitchen appliances, the transportation devices, the radios, the computers, the TV, cell phones, and even many mechanical toys. In addition, realize that all these things are made in factories where other engines are working and all producing heat. There is too much heat on your planet, which causes endless other things to get out of balance. Remember, again, that fire, which is heat, is a good companion, but too much fire and heat becomes destructive. Look up what it means, global warming, and what the causes are of this phenomena. Look at nature. Look in nature how everything grows, how the seasons are coming and going, and how everything gets accomplished in a very harmonious way. Playing with fire. You have seen that you can work with my energy of fire in a positive and negative way. And I almost forgot to mention that you have to be careful with physical fire and heat. Be careful to play with matches and fire lighters and trying to set things on fire. Often big fires were caused by a little fire. You make a little fire and suddenly the wind comes and carries the fire sparks to another place. Be very careful with fire. Be careful also to be around kitchen stoves, exhaust pipes of motorcycles or cars. Do not touch engines that have been running, and hot water is another danger. Be cautious with turning on the hot water faucet, as hot water could be coming out and burn you. And be careful when hot drinks standing around you. Last but not least, be extremely carefully with electricity. Do not play with outlets or anything for that fact which is connected to electricity. The eternal flame. You are now more familiar with my energy of heat and fire, connected to the world of body, mind and matter. But what about the eternal flame? There is a flame inside all of you, and this flame is an eternal energy which burns inside of you. This energy is the essence within everything, for without this, nothing can exist. It is the energy of life itself. Once you connect with this through inner and silent prayer and meditation, you will have a guiding light from within. A light from within you assisting you in your physical life. And this fire of light cleanses at the same time all the impurities, assisting you to become more pure again. Verse. Firatos is the keeper of Wednesday. Yellow is the color of this special day. A day for action and adventure in a healthy way. Do all the things you do in such a speed so you do not trip over your own feet. This is the way to digest your life without that fear and anger knife.